the Mika and Joe meeting, of course, they've caught some flack. Even Jon Stewart was like, I thought you called him Hitler, and now you're going in there. But I want to flip that, and it should be flipped. This is the difference between a business executive, a guy who actually knows how to get things done, and a politician. If Trump were a politician, that meeting likely doesn't happen, nor do any other meetings with any Democrats that have tried to bury him over and over. Even the meeting with Biden that we talked about last time I was on the air, you're like, I can't believe he's going to meet with Biden and talk with Biden. And I was like, yeah, well, I kind of think he should. The reason he's doing these things, and he said he's not taking this eye for an eye approach, this is what an executive does. If you're running a company and you've got someone that you don't get along with, that you don't like, that maybe tried to screw you, but there's a reason for you meeting that could benefit the company, in this case, the country, you do it. You simply do it. That's what he's doing. This is called leadership. I've used that word over and over and over again. But what he did, by taking that meeting, having an open discussion with them, they're getting criticized, and maybe rightfully so. If you're a hardcore left winger and they're like, how can you go into, speak with him at Mar-a-Lago? But from a Trump point of view and from our country point of view, this is what we want. We want a guy that's going to say, well, all right, I'll talk to anybody if they can help the country, even people that have tried to screw me. And he had a great meeting with Joe Biden, apparently, just from a dialogue standpoint. And I think it's a very underrated thing with the guy that, has now been elected to try and unify the country.
If the tables were turned and she had won, do you think for 1 second Mika and Joe would have said, President Trump, you're going to be a historic figure in the history books of political history. Come on up to the MSNBC studios, because we would like to make sure we open communication and reopen dialogue with you, and have you on the show maybe every other. No, they'd be calling for the prosecutor in New York to throw him in Rikers Island for the rest of his life and watch him die there with a camera live on Morning Joe. That's what would make them happy. So they could go to Mar-a-Lago. I don't trust or have the two of them there. They could go pound sand as far as I'm concerned. They're going to do nothing for the country. So other than Trump being more magnanimous than people want to give him credit for, and he's done it with Marco Rubio, he's a lot of these people he's taken shots at.
Ted Cruz.
Obviously, Ted Cruz. He's mended fences and moved forward for the betterment of the country. I get what you're saying there. But these two, what the hell are they going to do? Yeah. What the hell have they ever done? Nothing.
Yeah, not only that, but then you look at the part where who does this benefit? It doesn't benefit him. They don't have an audience, and the audience they have doesn't like him anyway. So what does he care?
Yep.
It only benefits them. So if they can, and when when we see the news today of MSNBC being spun off into another entity, you're thinking, oh, you're right. It does have to do with work. It does have to do with contracts. It does have to do with their livelihood. They need to get him as an interview. Because as soon as Damon mentioned that they were getting spinned off, I'm like, oh, that's what it is. They want him as an interview.
Yeah.
Because Trump brings eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's it. Whether you love him or hate him, people will watch. And the people that hate him will watch even longer.
He was great for them in 16, 17, 18, 19. He was great for them. Business was booming.
Yeah.
They have no ratings. They have a parent company in Comcast who now we know is going to dump them, who was thinking about dumping them. They're down there in CYA mode, and he's actually having them in there to talk on a Friday and then keeping it secret until Monday and then letting them go on air and saying, oh, like they're cozying up like, oh, we've agreed to open communication. Who cares what you've agreed to? Nobody cares. Nobody watches you. We don't care. And quite frankly, we don't think he should even allowed you on the premises.